Hello and welcome. This is the High School Getting Started Guide for Daybook. And in this video, I'm going to talk you through how to get set up and ready to go. So when you first log into Daybook for the first time, you'll see this message here saying that you don't have a timetable set up and that you'll need to create a timetable before you can start using the diary. So that's the first thing that we need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this button saying create a timetable. And this is going to step me through the process of setting up my timetable. So I'm going to give my timetable a name. If I type term 1 in here, you'll notice that it's giving me a suggestion of term 1 2021, and this will automatically fill in dates for me based on government schools for term 1. Now, if you're in a private school or for some reason your starting date is different, you can go ahead and change that just by tapping on the calendar icon here and selecting a different date. I'm going to leave it as is for the purpose of this video, and I'm going to press next to continue. Next, we need to set up what our typical day looks like. So this is the structure of our day. Don't worry if your day is slightly different on one day. Let's say you have an early day on a Friday, or maybe you don't work Thursday. We can change that in a minute, and I'll show you how to do that. But for now, we're just going to put in what a typical day looks like, and this is going to automatically populate our diary for us with this structure. Now, in order to edit this, what you do if you're on the iPad is you tap once to select. Once it's selected, you can either tap and hold and drag it around, or if you tap twice, it'll open the edit view for this particular lesson. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to edit these breaks and give them a name. So break 1 I'm going to call recess, so I'll tap once to select it, and then I'll tap a second time to open the edit view. And I'm going to change this to recess and press done. And then I'm going to go down to break 2. I'll tap once to select, tap a second time to open it, and I will choose lunch for this second break. And if, for example, you have a 6th period or you need to add a break or something like that, you can press on this plus button at the bottom, and then you can add either a lesson or a break. So I could, for example, go in and press add lesson, add period 6, for example. And obviously we don't want period 6 to be after the after school. It should sit straight after period 5. So I'm going to tap once to select, and then I can drag this up here so that it sits just after period 5. Once you've got your day set up like this, you can simply press the next button and we'll get the timetable set up. And you'll see that it's automatically filled in each day for me with that structure that we set up on the previous screen, and it's just added each period as a free period for now. So what I can do is I can go in and I can start adding my classes. So for example, let's say Tuesday period 1, I want to add a maths class. I can tap on the free period. This view works in the same way as the previous view. You tap once to select, and then tap a second time to open the edit view. So from here, I can create a new class. I can select a color by tapping on this color wheel over here and choosing a color. I like red for maths. And this is going to be a Year 8 mathematics class. So under subject, I'm going to just tap, and you'll notice that brought up a whole list of suggested subjects. Of course, you can type your own. Let's say if you prefer the shorthand of maths, that's fine too. And then you can come down to class name and add a class name. So this is going to be Year 8. And again, if you've previously inputted something here, you'll get a suggestion which you can select. which might save you a bit of time. So this is a Year 8 maths class. Once I'm happy with this, I can press done. And you'll see that it's now added it on that Tuesday period 1. Now I have this class as well on Monday period 2, so I'm going to tap on, or double tap on Monday period 2. And you'll notice now, because I've got a class set up in here, I can just select one of the previously created classes, or I can choose free period, or I can create a new one, but obviously we want to use this same one that's already been set up, so I'm going to tap that and press done, and that's added maths there as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and add all the periods where this class exists, and then let's say you need to create a second class, you can do that as well. Let's create a Year 9 maths class. So period 3 on a Monday, I'm going to tap on this period twice to open the edit view. And instead of selecting this class that we've already created, I'm going to click on the drop down and go down to New Course. And from here, I can create a whole new course. I can give it its own color. Let's go for a purple this time. This one is also maths, except this is going to be Year 9. And I'm going to press done. And so as you can see, I can populate my diary in this way by just going through and selecting all of those. Let's say I make a mistake and I want this to go back to a free period. I can tap on it twice to open the edit view, and then I can go to select free period instead of the subject. So just a couple of hints there. Now, I mentioned before that maybe you have an early day on a Friday, for example. The way you can do that in your diary is if you tap twice on a period like this, you can then tap on remove, and this will remove that period altogether for that day. And I'm also going to remove the lunch break here as well. So you can see now that I have a short day on a Friday. Perhaps I don't work at all on Thursday. I can go in here and I can remove each of these periods and breaks by double tapping and then pressing remove. And then on Thursday, rather than just leaving it completely blank, I may want to just add a note in here to say that I'm at home for this day. So you'll notice that at the end of each day, there's this plus symbol. And on Thursday, it's all the way up the top because I don't have any lessons on that day. If I tap that plus symbol, I can add a lesson or add a break on that day. So I'm going to go ahead and add a break, and I'm going to call this at home, just so I have a note on Thursday that I'm at home. And you'll see in the diary view that breaks will have the ability for you to write notes in a break, just like you can write notes in a lesson. And so this will just give me a field that I can type notes in if I ever need to. Let's say you have a week A and a week B, or maybe you have multiple weeks, maybe 3 or 4 week rotation. If that is the case, you can add a second week. At the moment, we only have 1 week, and as you see at the top here, it's week A. If I want to add a week B, I can tap on this drop down here and select add a week. And this is going to automatically create a new week for me. It'll populate all the days with the default, just like it did with week A. And I can go ahead and fill in my diary the same way that I did for week A. And once I'm finished, I can go back up to this drop down and select week A again. And so I can just easily change from week A to week B using this drop down. Now, let's say you have a 2-week rotation like this, but your diary actually starts on week B. One of the ways you can achieve this is by going to the settings cog over here in the top left-hand corner. And if you tap on that, it's going to bring up the timetable settings for this timetable. And as you can see, I can change the name and the start and the end date, just like I did when we set up this timetable from the beginning. But what I'm interested in right now is this fourth option down the bottom that says Start On. If I tap that, it gives me the option to select either week A or week B. So I can press week B and then press Done. And this will mean that my timetable will start on week B. So the 28th of January 2021 is actually a Thursday. So you'll note when we go to the diary view in a moment that week B, Thursday, will be the one that is actually shown. I'm going to go ahead and finish populating this timetable and then show you the rest of the diary. Alright, so I've now got my whole whole timetable filled in. This is week A and this is week B. So once I've got both weeks set up, I'm going to go ahead and press save. And I'm obviously entering this in December, but the term doesn't start until the 28th of January. So what this is asking me is if I want to go to the 28th of January now, and I'm going to press yes. And this is going to move my diary view to the 28th of January 2021. And you can see that this is adding in, this is a Thursday, and it's adding in the Thursday for week B because we chose to start on week B. If for some reason you want to go through and change your timetable, maybe you made a mistake or maybe there's been a last minute change, you can go up to the top right hand corner and tap on this timetable icon, and this will bring up your timetable for you. You can tap, same as when we're editing, you can tap up here to switch between week A and week B. You can click on the settings cog to change the dates and the name and which week it starts on. And if you want to make a change to your diary, you can tap on the edit button in the top right hand corner, and then you can go through, and the same way that we did when we set it up, you can tap once to select, tap twice to edit, and you can drag and drop to move things around. Once you've finished making your changes, you can either save or you can choose to discard your changes. I'm just going to discard for now since we didn't change anything, and then I can tap somewhere outside this to go away from the timetable view. So that's it for getting your timetable set up. But just as a quick summary, on the left-hand side here, we have a menu. And from here, you can switch between the diary view, which gives you a view that looks like this, or the lessons view. The lessons view allows you to pick a particular subject and view all of the lessons that you have for that particular subject across the term. The diary view gives you a day-by-day view, just like a traditional planner. And you can switch between days at the top using these arrows, or you can tap on the date itself and you can go to a specific date by picking it on the calendar. If you want to go to today's date, you can always just press on the Today button as well, and that will take you straight to the current date. To use your diary, as you see, I've got a couple of lessons in here. I've also got a free period and a couple of breaks. All you have to do is tap once on the lesson that you want to add notes to, and it brings up the edit view, and then I can type in here. I can also select text and choose to highlight it or make it bold. I can choose to create a list of items by tapping on this icon, and I can write a list. Same as your standard kind of word processing options that you have. And that is essentially the basics of the diary. I'd encourage you to go and have a look at some of our other videos where we go through in more detail how to use the diary. If you have any feedback, please tap on the feedback button. We have a lot of interesting features planned to be rolling out in the new year, but we don't want to just be building anything. We want to be building the exact features that you guys want to see. So please make sure if you have an idea or you have some feedback, make sure you press on this feedback button and you can send us your feedback. Thank you very much, and I'll see you later.